peasy lemon squeezy.
Bomb has been defused.
Hello guys, this is Gabriel FalleN, and today we're going to talk a little bit about default as CT on Overpass. And there's a lot of ways of doing defaults, and I'm going to try to show you a default where you play with only 2 players B. You probably heard about other defaults where you have 3 guys there at the beginning, but for this default I'm presenting you, the main idea is to put some pressure on the connector area at the beginning, which is going to make the terrorists misunderstand what and which way you are playing a CT. And we're going to put some aggression on the mid area, so sometimes with the WP, sometimes with the M4s, trying to get early kills in the round so you can get early picks, and that helps holding the T push. So let's check it out in game now, because I have a lot to explain for you. So now we're going to talk about the player 1 on the CT's default. I'm going to start with the guy that plays Monster. The first thing during a round, as a Monster player, you need to take care of the rush. And how are you going to make it? You're going to start the round jumping here from the window because it's faster, and you're going to molly it down as soon as you can, this position. This way, if your enemies are rushing Monster, you're going to kind of stop them. Of course, there are some good opponents that might just smoke it off and keep going, so you need to be ready for it. But mollying at the beginning is a good thing to stop them. On this default I'm presenting you, we have only 2 B players, and there's a lot of ways of playing B. So one of them is doing this anti-rush, and the other one is just playing full passive and let them come. So if you want to play passive, you can just moll it and fall back with your teammate to play full passive and let them have the side. That's one setup you can do. You guys can learn more about that when you start seeing CT's default, or CT setups on Overpass. But the main thing, the default thing the Monster player should do is take care of the rush and then position himself in order to do something. After the molly, you can smoke it down, and then you can choose a position for yourself. Maybe you can stay on the pillar, you can move up and get closer to the Monster area, or you can set up a different thing that you like most to do. For example, stay on the barrels or something like that. It's up to you which position you like most, but make sure to do the anti-rush, because you don't want to lose for a rush B without being ready for it. The second player, the player that plays short B, he needs to be prepared for rushes as well. And there's a couple ways you can do it. One good way you can do to stop rush is, as soon as you get closer, you're gonna end right here with the Molotov and throw it. This is good because you're gonna throw a Molotov that lands right here, and you will kinda make it impossible for someone to rush short B, and you're putting some pressure here. When the T side see this molly, they think you might be going for a water control, so they can take this more slowly, and you can kind of fake them that you are trying to push water with this molly, even if you want just to pretend it and stay at the side. Besides that, one good thing to be doing is jumping here to get information on the water area. So if you see someone while you're jumping, you can right away smoke it so they stop pressuring you at the beginning of the round. You want to gain some time, because on this default I'm presenting you, you have only 2 players B, and the third guy is coming back from his role, so you can have his help in the near future. You just need to hold down at the beginning of the round so you don't get pushed down. Now comes the fun, guys. We're gonna talk about the third player. He's the player who's gonna mess up with the T-mines. He's gonna go connector right at the beginning of the round, and he's gonna throw a molly or a smoke right here to make the connector guy think there's a lot of pressure here. Throw this smoke and get back at the beginning of the game, do something else, and if there is a lot of pressure mid-fast, you can help it, but if not, you can just go back to B, help those guys there. By the end of the match, when you start doing this for 3-4 times, you can start staying connector. So what's gonna do is, you're gonna make your opponent get used to your smoke, and in the beginning of the map, they're gonna, oh, maybe someone's connector, I need to go carefully. But as soon as you are doing it too many times and he realizes that no one is there, he's gonna start being a little more, let's say, he won't be too careful. And then that's where you can just stay connector and say, this round, guys, I'm gonna fake connector, but I'm gonna stay there because I wanna get this easy kill. And that's a good way to make a trick on her mind, on the team mind, and get a easy kill for you. Go to the player 4. The player 4 is setting up a play with the player 5. And you can do it with the AWP or with the M4s. What you're gonna do is, at the beginning of the round, you're gonna throw a smoke right here on the top of this trash when you're getting close to get off the bathroom. You're gonna jump here, look into this wall so you don't get blind, and you're gonna go carefully here at this position. If you are an AWPer or M4, you're gonna ask for the flash very fastly. So as soon as you jump here, you're gonna say flash now, and your teammate, which is the player 5, is gonna flash for you, and then you're gonna pick here and try to find a kill. That's one way of doing it. The second way of doing it, you're gonna throw a smoke, you're gonna jump here with an M4, you're gonna ask for a flash, and then you're gonna kill them by here. You're gonna go over this wall, and then when you get here, you're gonna say flash for me, and then you're gonna kill the guys behind here. All right? You can't take too long here. This is much more for beginning of the round, because if you stay too much here, you can die from balloon, right? But if you want to stay more, you can keep pushing here and then hiding right close to the wall here, waiting for the enemies to make a move. And then the player 5 is gonna cover your back. So now the player 5 needs to assist the player 4 during the beginning of the round to get those easy kills when they are being aggressive too fast. The flash you want to do is a flash that goes right here. You want to work forward and throw it, all right? Make sure to throw your flash in this gap here. So your crosshair should be aligned with this gap. So put a crosshair here, wait for the call, wait for communication, walk and throw it. As soon as you walk and throw it, you have to pay attention if your connector guys is staying there or not, and you have to pay attention on which kind of play your teammate wants to do. If he's just doing a pick from this position, you guys might be going back very soon to the bomb site and doing another setup. If your teammate is making it further, it's keep going, it's going to fountain, then you need to go here and assist him, maybe with an AWP, maybe with an M4, and wait for some action here. So make sure to play accordingly to what the player 4 is doing, so you can support him, have his back, and have good trades and good crossfires. So that's it, guys. I hope you guys like the idea about this default CT. And remember, you have to use the style that fits you most. Try to be aggressive, try to get those picks, but if it's not working during this game, or this is not just the things you as a player like to do, you have another options where you can be more safe, where you can play more as a team, and try to figure out which things work better for you. Hope you guys like it.